Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10, live on Channels Television. A reminder of our major stories. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission arrest Lebanese with over $2 million cash at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Police send reinforcement to Northwest following killing of over 100 bandits terrorizing Zamfara State. Being investigation into reports of new armed group begins in Sokoto State. Senate leader and APC member from Yobe State, Ahmed Lawan, dismisses fears of electoral crisis following delay in the signing of the Election Act Amendment Bill into law by President Buhari. Annual G20 summit kicks off in Argentina amid political tension between Russia and Ukraine and trade crisis between US and China. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and go to youtube.com/channelsweb to see our videos. Watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. And besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app has an eyewitness feature, so you can use it to share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. And talking about pictures, here are some of them you sent into our eyewitness portal today. Let's begin with our first set of pictures showing 2 blocks of flats at Ogba without prepaid meters. Our eyewitness says the attendant crazy bills and frequent blackouts had been reported to Ikeja Electric on several occasions without any response. And next is another set of images showing Loma personnel cleaning at night. Our eyewitness is appreciative of the work they are currently putting into ensuring a clean Lagos state. She wants them to continue. And finally is this image of traffic build-up around the Ijora axis. Our eyewitness says it has become the lot of residents of Surulere who ply the route every morning. He wonders when this issue of congestion at the port will be effectively dealt with. We thank you so much for sending in those images, and we do encourage you to keep them coming. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says some political parties nominated candidates below the constitutional mandatory age of 35 for the presidential election. The chairman of the commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, made this disclosure in Abuja, adding that only 73 political parties out of the 91 registered parties filed their nomination. The INEC chairman also criticized recent controversies that trailed party primaries, saying political parties that cannot respect the democratic process lose the moral right to complain about secondary elections. President Muhammadu Buhari will leave for Poland tomorrow to attend the 24th session of the Conference of the Parties under the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, otherwise known as Pt.2. The president will join 29 heads of government to speak at the conference opening on Monday, that's December the 3rd. He will deliver a national statement highlighting Nigeria's commitment to addressing climate change by implementing the goals set out in its national determined contributions. The conference is expected to finalize the climate change rulebook and the Paris Agreement reached in December 2015 in France. And before he leaves the country, the president has asked newly sworn-in chairmen and commissioners of the Federal Civil Service Commission to be fair in recruitment processes into the civil service. President Buhari spoke shortly after the chairman and 12 commissioners took the oath of office at the State House Council chambers in Abuja. 10 of the commissioners sworn in recently scaled screening at the Senate, while 3 others are returning. Let's cross over to our Abuja studios where Linda is standing by with more stories. Hello, Linda. Great to see you.
Hello, Melinda. Great to see you too. Now, efforts to end the ongoing industrial action by lecturers in Nigeria's government-owned universities have continued with the resumption of dialogue today between the leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Universities and federal government representatives in Abuja. The first meeting to hold since the strike commenced ended without an agreement on Monday, with the ASU president, Dr. Pt.2 saying the discussions would continue at a later date. The meeting this evening has, however, ended, but journalists were not briefed on the outcome of the meeting. ASU embarked on the strike almost 4 years ago over inadequate funding of universities in the country and non-implementation of previous agreements by the government. The union had demanded the implementation of the agreements reached in 2017 and disbandment of the federal government's negotiation committee, headed by former Justice of the Supreme Court, Wale Babalakin. Before resumption of talks, concerns have been raised in different quarters over the current state of the nation's educational system, with the Executive and the National Assembly calling for a state of emergency to be declared in the sector. Some youths from Bayelsa, Rivers and Akwa Ibom states have protested at the embassy of the European Union in Abuja over alleged militarization of elections in the country. The protesters requested the EU to prevail on the federal government to check what they term undue political interference by the Nigeria police ahead of the 2019 elections. Speaking against the backdrop of recent developments in Akwa Ibom and Rivers states, the group's spokesperson maintains that the neutrality of the Nigerian police in electoral matters has been undermined. They are asking the international community to intervene as this development has the potential of causing violence in the 2019 polls. Meanwhile, Rivers State Governor Mr. Nyesom Wike has reversed the sack of the managing directors of the state's television and radio stations following the intervention of a chairman of the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON, Mr. John Momo. The managing directors of Rivers State Television, Radio Rivers and Garden City Radio were fired by Governor Wike on Monday, November 26th, for being found wanting in the discharge of their responsibilities. Mr. Momo, who is also the chairman of Channels Media Group, believes the sacked chief executives may have learned their lesson.
Governor Wike is a good man. There's no doubt about that. But he's also a very firm man, very firm. And we've seen that not only today, not yesterday, but all through these years, that he's very firm, he's truthful, he likes to be truthful at all times, and he doesn't mince words. And it shows that he has a lot of passion for the state. He also tries to demonstrate that if anything goes wrong, he's ready to fix it. In the same vein, if somebody goes wrong, he's ready to deal with that person. We had the unfortunate situation of some members of BON who were supposed to be here, who didn't show up. It was a failing on their part. There's no excuse for that. And very rightly, the governor wielded the big stick, and the story went viral. But because Governor Wike is a good man, I want to stroke that other side of him. And when I pleaded with him, he said, no. Today I beg of you. I know that it's very difficult, but I know that you're a good man. And I urge everybody to rise and let us plead that he please rescind his decision. Please, Governor Wike.
We must move this country. We must do what is right. It may be very difficult. It may be difficult. It may be painful. But what is right is right. Encourage us. The problem in this country is nobody is encouraging us. We say nobody takes decision in this country. When we take decision, you weaken us. Now you have come to weaken me. Now you have come to weaken me. You know, that's why I say, look, the Nigerian problems were the problems, is it not? So, if I would do it, let Nigeria hear. Carry it on the pages of newspapers tomorrow. I want to see it on Channel First News tomorrow. I want to see it on AIT. That it is you that says, look, forgive them. So it is not me that is forgiving them. It is you that say, because of us, forgive them. And who am I when you say forgive and I will not forgive? So, since John Momo, the main icon, said forgive, they are hereby forgiven.
When the News at 10 returns, Nigeria PMI expands for the 20th time in November with stronger growth across the manufacturing and non-manufacturing sectors. That's some business news. Please stay with us.